All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, Flex Lewis and whether or not he's competing in the 2021 Mr. Olympia. Now, of course, you guys know that last year Flex was intending on competing in the 2020 Mr. Olympia and had to pull out at the last minute due to an injury. He was planning on making the big crossover from 212 to men's open bodybuilding to see how he would fare with the big boys, quote unquote. And in a time where you've got a lot of successful, shorter, smaller guys like Hadi Chupin, William Bonac, these guys are placing extremely highly at the Olympia. You can make the argument that Flex Lewis stands to do very well if he does make that leap. Now, in a recent YouTube video that Flex put out, he confirmed that not only is he not competing this year, he gives the reason for why. And essentially, to sum it up for you guys, he says the reason has nothing to do with his coach, Neil Hill. Apparently, there were some rumors put out about that, which I hadn't even heard, so it has nothing to do with Neil. And he says the main reason is he wants to focus on family. Him and his wife are trying to have another kid. Now, he does not exclusively say that he will compete next year, but he does say that he's not retired. He does clarify that, and he does say he still has the burning desire to compete and accomplish more in bodybuilding. So this is not a retirement announcement, just an announcement that he's not competing this year. But I'm going to go ahead and roll a clip of what exactly Flex said about the reasons why he's out of this year's Olympia. I'm going to roll that for you guys right here.
Had to pull out of the Olympia is my coach of 20 years, Neil Hill, is not going to be here, which couldn't be further from the truth. I have competed 3/4 of my life with Neil being in the UK, and he'd come in 2 weeks before the show. So that rumor right there has to be fucking cancelled, and it has nothing to do with why I'm not stepping on stage this year. In kind of fact, if the fact that people are thinking and attaching that to me fucking pisses me off. And when I heard that, I was very disappointed on who started that. It's been addressed, but bottom line is that is not the reason. The main reason, which I didn't really want to get into, is myself and my wife are trying for another kid. And bodybuilding has always been part of my whole being. And as I'm getting older, my family now has replaced what was first in line, which was bodybuilding, and now family is first. And that is everything that I do and everything, and the reason why I provide. I want my family to grow, and myself, my wife and myself have been working for the last couple of months on trying to add to that part of the family. Not that it's anybody's business, but now I feel the need to tell everybody because there's false information that's been put out there. And I think everybody who knows me knows that I put passion and drive into everything I do in life. And for me to commit myself to a show where I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out wouldn't be fair. And plus the process that myself and my wife are going through is very tiresome. It's been a long process, and in all honesty, my wife is a trooper for being able to manage myself, look after my daughter, and work on all this fertility stuff that we're going through. So I wanted to jump on you and just say something. I didn't plan to say anything today, but as the day has gone on, I feel it's in my heart to say that I appreciate everybody's support. I'm not retiring, and there's still so much burning desire and ambition for me to fulfill my bodybuilding goals and dreams. And God willing, injury-free, I will be on that Olympia stage next year.
And now a word from our sponsors over at LaBrada Nutrition. All right, guys, now next up in the news, Chris Bumstead, the first physique update of his Olympia prep, starting off at his new highest morning weight ever, 264 pounds. He says he's a little sunburnt, a little soft, but feeling strong and excited to get absolutely shreddy. So this is the first glimpse of what Chris is looking like on his road to the 2021 Olympia and what I believe will be his third Classic Physique Olympia title. And he looks massive, which I think is a good thing. If you guys remember last year when we were looking at Chris Bumstead and some of the physique updates that he was posting, he posted some physique updates at the beginning of his prep last year where he was talking about the size that he put on and how much bigger he was. And he showed us on stage that that size did translate and correlate directly into being improvements when it came to his back, when it came to just his upper body in general. You could see a lot of added size. So a bigger Chris Bumstead in the offseason. In the past, the track record shows that is a good thing, and that means improvements. So imagine Chris improves even more from last year to this year. Can he be stopped? Will this be his third title? Will he go on to win 5 or more? In my opinion, the era of Chris Bumstead has just begun. Breon placing third last year, I think, was a sign of changing times. Relegating him to third, I think, is a sign that this is no longer the Chris and Breon show. This is no longer the Chris and Breon rivalry. This is Chris's title, and someone needs to come and take it from him, and I don't think that's going to be Breon. I think they've kind of removed him from the conversation with that judging call because Breon did look good. But keep in mind, Breon's like 15 years older than Chris, and you can make the argument that Chris hasn't even entered his prime yet, being the age that he is. Then you've got the young up-and-comer Rough Diesel, very different physique than Chris, but still very classic in his own right. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think Chris is going to win or lose this year's Olympia? And if you think he's not going to win this year, who do you think is going to be the person to defeat Chris Bumstead and end his reign? Because personally, honestly, I don't think 2 times Mr. Olympia was a fluke. I think it's the beginning of many more titles. Now, next up in the news, Phil Heath and Kai Green. You guys might have noticed Kai has been trolling you guys a lot more with the comeback rumors, but Phil put those rumors to rest on his own Instagram story. Phil says, Kai Green, you are fake news with a Trump emoji down there. And he comments on Kai's post. Basically, Kai is saying that him and Phil are doing the Olympia again in his post, which you guys know they're probably not. And he says, Leslie Kai Green, this is Phil's comment. I asked you to go grab a bite to eat, and now you're saying we're doing the Olympia. He says, damn, bro, let's get through first base first. So if you guys didn't know, Phil was in Florida. Kai's in Florida. Phil commented on one of Kai's posts asking Kai if he wanted to go to lunch or something while Phil's down there. And that is what Kai is basing off this Phil versus Kai, all these posts. That's where this is coming from, is Phil asking Kai to go to lunch. Don't let him troll you anymore, guys. Phil Heath kind of put this rumor to rest. He says it's fake news, and it's not happening. Now, next up in the news, a physique update from Hassan Mustafa, who I assume is preparing for the Chicago Pro, still trying to earn that Olympia qualification, not just off of points. I'm sure he wants to qualify off of a win. And this is what his current physique is looking like going into Chicago. I'm sure he's doing Tampa as well, assuming he doesn't win in Chicago, which he might. He'll be going up against Hunter LaBrada there. Now, we're just a couple weeks away from Chicago, but we still don't have the official competitor list, but I'm assuming Hassan will still do that show because, as you guys know, he has not qualified yet. And honestly, in this physique update, man, I think Hassan, he looks exactly the same in all these updates. I mean, all the shows that he's done, I think he's looked almost exactly the same, little to no improvements. All the physique updates that I've seen, even though Hassan's got a freaky, impressive physique, his conditioning just doesn't seem there. He seems flat, and he seems just, I don't even know how to describe it, just very consistently the same. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to see him compete. I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully nail that conditioning at one of these shows and make the improvements that he needs to make. And if he does, I'm sure he would win the show. But I guess we'll have to see. From these physique updates, to me, it looks like we're seeing more of the same, to be honest with you guys. And of course, guys, the final story that I have for you guys today, Hunter LaBrada just 14 days out, preparing for that Chicago Pro show. Man, it seems like this show has gotten here so fast. So these are the 14 days out, 2 weeks out update from Chicago Pro for Hunter. And I got to say, with Akeem supposedly not doing that show and some of the bigger names not doing that show like Sergio, Hunter stands a really good shot at being the front runner and being the potential winner of the Chicago Pro. And these updates, to me, he's already looking extremely dry. He's already looking extremely lean. And I think Hunter's going to get it done in Chicago. And right now, his biggest competition, if Hassan does it, I think it's going to be Hassan and Charles Griffin that are really the 2 guys that Hunter needs to worry about. And I think Hunter's going to be able to do enough to potentially beat both those guys. And then, of course, we'll see Hunter on stage at the Arnold Classic. And then, just a couple weeks later, hopefully, we'll see him on stage at the Olympia yet again, where people are looking to see him place top 10 again. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. It helps out a lot. Click that bell notification. If you guys don't see my videos in your subscription feed, click the bell. You'll get notified every time I post. You don't want to miss the news. You want to be kept in the loop, so click that bell, click that subscribe. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.